You are listening to the Marry Your Future podcast with Christina Armstrong, where we hope you break up with your past so you can marry your future. Christina is an author, singles coach, and speaker who is passionate about helping women journey from breakup to boss up. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode.
So a couple of weeks ago, I had a conversation with someone, and they asked me my opinion. They asked me, hey, do you think I'm doing a good job in this area? And I know me, and they know me. And so my response was, are you sure you want to have this conversation? And they responded and they said, yeah, I'm asking you, like, this is the situation. I feel like I'm doing a good job, but how do you feel? And I tried really hard to do the sandwich effect where I encouraged them, gave them truth, but then also encouraged them on the back end. And I knew this person that I was dealing with didn't have the EQ, the emotional intelligence to process everything, that they were going to allow their emotions to kind of get the best of them. But I prefaced it with, are you sure you're ready to have this conversation? And having the conversation about if I thought they were doing a good job in a particular area, I first identified what they thought qualified as a good job. And they gave me their qualifications. Well, I show up, I do this. Everybody's still alive, ain't nothing drastic happened. So I think I'm doing a good job. And my response was, I don't think that's valid. I think our standards for what a good job is very different. And one of the things that I used to weigh whether I thought this person had done a good job or not was I told them they had been in this position for about 2 years. And I said, your life is no different than when you started the position. You've had 2 years to make some kind of improvement, yet you're still living at the same level that you were 2 years ago. So based on that, no, I don't think you're doing a good job. Do I think there's room to grow? Yes. But are you currently growing? Your lifestyle hasn't changed. Your results haven't changed. And yes, it was a very hard conversation to have. And I'm sure it was very hard to hear, especially if they looked at it from that perspective of just evaluating their life and the situation over those 2 years. It was exactly the same. They were just 2 years older. And as I was thinking about that, and as I was preparing for this episode, I was thinking, how many of us circle the same mountain? How many of us feel stuck in the same patterns? Yet it's so routine that we don't even realize that nothing has changed. That is a hard pill to swallow. When you take a step back, you evaluate your life and you realize, hey, nothing's changed in the past 2 years. My money hasn't increased. My emotional intelligence hasn't increased. My relationship quality hasn't increased. I haven't read anything what has improved? I haven't added anything to my life. I haven't added anything to anybody else. Like what has improved? And that was really what sparked this episode was, man, God, show me where I'm stuck. Show me where I'm circling the same mountain. Show me what I need to close the book on. Show me what I need to close the chapter on. It's crazy. It is crazy to look at your life and realize nothing's changed. Nothing. That's terrible. That's a tough word, but that's terrible. And we've got to figure out how to close the chapter on some things. We got to figure out what we need to say goodbye to, what we need to close the chapter on so that we can open and make space for new things. You know, I when I took this journey, when I packed up my life in that little Honda CRV, when I did everything that looked crazy. It was a decision that had to be made. It was scary. I was leaving a job that I had been at for almost 10 years. I was leaving my friends. I was leaving the good money that I was making. I was leaving, all of these situations that I was comfortable in. But had I stayed there, I would have been stuck, circling the same mountain over and over and over again. It took faith for me to walk away. It took a word from God for me to walk away. And we know that faith begins where the will of God is known. I knew that I had a word from God. I knew that it was time to close the chapter. I knew that this thing was over, that my time in Georgia had come to an end. I knew. I heard the Lord clear as day. But then I got stuck. I almost got stuck because you can hear the Lord give you a word, and sometimes it's not a now word. And so when I got the word, hey, move, let me tell you how the enemy works to keep you stuck. Let me tell you how bad the enemy wants you to stay where you are instead of where God tells you to be. I had the instruction to move, to come to Colorado. I had the instruction that was it. Move. This is the program you need to do. This is when you need to go, August. And I said, okay. But then I got a position I got offered a position to work for the ministry. I would still be partnered up with Karis. I would be able to keep my job. I would not have to move across the country. I would be in the same state as my family. And so naturally you're like, well, wait a minute. I'm set up here. This looks good. I can still work with, Karis, God, this is where you want me to be. Like, I know you said go, but did you mean now? And I'll never forget it. I was cleaning up the church and I was praying, and I called one of my friends. Shout out to Lupe, my prayer friend. And me and Lupe are praying, and we're having a conversation. Lupe prays for me, and she's like, you will know, the voice of the Lord. You will hear, your spirit will confirm, da-da-da-da. No less than 10 minutes after I hang up the phone, not yet, that might be too long. It may have been like 5 minutes after I hang up the phone with her, I get my answer. And the Holy Spirit says to me, go where faith is required. It requires no faith for you to stay in the same job, for you to go to the same program every other Saturday, for you to stay around the same people, for you not to move. That requires no faith. What is going to require faith is for you to move across the country where you know no one, to move across the country where you don't even have a place set yet. Okay, Lord, go where faith is required. Got you. I stuffed that Honda CRV to the rim. With me, I think my son was 15 at the time, the dog, and all of our belongings was in that car, and we made the drive from Georgia to Colorado. Along that drive, everything that I said goodbye to, everything that I let go of, I got so much better on this side. I was paying, I was renting a room at the time and wasn't paying much, wasn't a good place to, especially if you have a kid and a dog, but I was in survivor's mode that I was scared to look for anything bigger, better, anything of my own. To where I come to Colorado, I'm established, I have my own place, my son has his own room, the dog has her space, I don't have to hide her or lie. Like, it works out. I leave a job that I've had for 10 years, a job in healthcare. And when I left that, the Lord said to me, you're retiring from healthcare. You will never go back into healthcare field. Okay. All right. At 31, I'm retiring from healthcare. How does that, God, that doesn't sound right. But he was closing the door on this chapter. He was closing the chapter. It was done. It was over. to now I'm in a position where I'm learning things for the ministry, for the marketplace ministry that he put inside of me, that I'm partnered up with my mentor and she's teaching me things, and I'm in a place where I'm learning to live by faith. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't be living like this had I stayed, had I not closed the door on that season. I would have been going around the same mountain. I would have been going to work, coming home, going to sleep, going to work, coming home. Like, it would have been redundancy, in the gifting and the passion and the calling that God put on the inside of me would have crumbled. That atmosphere would have sucked the life out of me because it wouldn't have been where I was supposed to be. Atmosphere is everything. You want to thrive? Get around some successful people. You want to smoke? Get around some people that smoke. Atmosphere changes things. It really does. And so had I would have stayed there, I would have been stuck, circling. I would have been stuck. I wouldn't have met the people that I needed to meet. I wouldn't have experienced it. I wouldn't have died to myself. I would have still been struggling with pride. It would have been detrimental to my future. It would have been detrimental to my calling. It would have been detrimental to the things that God put on the inside of me. Recently I had been, talking to the Lord, and I was like, God, this is hard. This season is hard. God, I just want to be comfortable. And the Lord said, Christina, I love you, but I don't care about you being comfortable. I care about your character. And I thought that was rude, if I'm being honest. But then as I thought about it, I was like, God, you're right. Who cares if I'm comfortable? You're developing me. You're developing me. You're creating that character, the integrity, those qualities that I say I want. I want to be like Christ. You think he was comfortable all the time? One of the things I always thank God for, I thank Jesus for his nevertheless. I'm like, thank you, God, for your nevertheless. Because when you wanted to quit, when you were like, let this cup pass me, is there any other way? You said nevertheless. You closed the door. When you came to earth from heaven, you closed the door on your divinity, and you said, you know what? I'm going to put on the skin of man. I'm going to become like man, and I'm going to limit myself in this vessel for us. So if he did it, why are we struggling? Because we want to be comfortable? That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know if it's a relationship. I don't know if it's a bad habit. I don't know if it's a friendship. I don't know if it's a job. I don't know if it's separating from your family. I have no idea what you need to close the chapter on. But my question to you is staying where you are benefiting you or hindering you? And is comfortability the only reward that you're getting for staying? It's going to be a sad day when the Lord shows us every opportunity that we did not take. It's going to be a sad day when he reveals all the opportunities we missed out on because we were scared, because we were comfortable with the familiar, because we didn't know how to let go. Our future is so bright. We're going to need glasses to even look at it. Our future is so bright. We need glasses to look at it. Like the nice, solid, dark frame. We need that. But we only get to enjoy that when we close the chapter on the thing that has been. When God called Abraham out, when he said, leave your father's house, come. Even though he jacked up and took Lot, yeah, we all know that. But when he left, he didn't go back. He didn't return. The word says, behold, I'm doing a new thing. Forget the former things. If we focus on the former things, if we focus on how it used to be done, if we focus on what we used to have, we'll stay there. I challenge you, ask the Lord to give you a taste of the new thing. Ask him to show you, God, show me what my future is. Show me what's in store. God, show me the future marriage you have for me. God, show me the job that you want me at. God, show me what I'm going to be doing. His plans are so big. They're massive. They're ginormous. They're bigger than we can ask, think, or imagine. But in order to get there, we've got to shut the door on some things. We've got to break up with our past so that we can marry our future. Maybe it's trauma. Maybe you don't know how to be loved because you were taken advantage of. That's something we need to close the door on. Maybe there's unforgiveness. Maybe there's someone that you're just really angry with and you rehearse your arguments over and over again. That's holding you up. You out here proclaiming you want, God, where's my Boaz? You're not a Ruth, honey. You're not gentle. You a no-limit soldier because you refuse to let go of the pain. You like, God, I'm going to be a millionaire. Yes, money coming, da-da-da-da. But you don't have integrity. You still lying. You're not paying the bills on time. You're not even communicating if something comes up. Close the door on those bad habits. Close the door on those things that you've trained yourself. And honestly, a lot of us grew up being taught these things. You know, I grew up where the bill collectors call, your mom's standing there, but you tell them, hey, she's not here. I was trained to be a liar in some areas. We had no integrity back then. We didn't know. It was always survival. So now that we're coming through and we're like, oh, you mean I gotta communicate? Oh, you mean I should be honest? It's hard. But I am determined to be the woman that God created me to be. I refuse to let my circumstances hinder me. I refuse to let my past and what we did not know and how we were raised to dictate who I get to be in the future. No, I get to close the door on some things. You know, I heard that thing. It doesn't matter the family you came from. The only thing that matters is the family that comes from you. The family that comes from me is going to walk in integrity. The family that comes from me is going to be, they're going to know. My ceiling will be my children's floor. So I want to make sure that ceiling is pretty good. But I only get to do that when I leave the past in the past, when I heal from the past, when I acknowledge what happened, when I grow from it, when I'm honest about what happened, when I'm honest that my feelings are hurt, when I'm honest that I'm upset with my parents, when I'm honest that I wish that I had it different, when I'm honest with myself and with God, then I can heal. Then I can marry the future that God ordained for me to have. It's going to take self-awareness. It's going to take humility. It's going to take being honest. But I promise you, it is worth it. Don't look this time next year and you're in the same predicament. You're fighting the same demons. You're circling the same mountain. That shouldn't be the case. We should be ever evolving. So think about where you are. Think about where you were last year. And if you're in the same spot, it's time to do something different. I love you. I pray for you. We pray for you weekly. We are interceding for you weekly. Know you are on the heart of the team. You are on my heart. We are seeking the Lord about what to share. Because again, this is not about me. I'm just being obedient. I hope this encourages you. Evaluate what mountains you've been circling. and let's defeat those giants. Remember, in order to marry your future, it's going to require you to break up with your past. Until next time, peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to check out the website at itschristinaarmstrong.com for more content. And remember, God can't heal who you pretend to be. It's time you break up with your past so you can marry your future.